Hi guys, I am Big and Scary, and I'm bringing you another StarCraft replay. This time featuring Seven versus Koala, in the Shakuris Plateau. Seven is playing the red Zerg in the top left corner, and KillerKoala is in the top right playing the blue Terran. Shakuris Plateau, pretty well-known map. I believe it's on the ladder, which would explain why red versus blue. I believe this is a ladder game. Both Seven and Koala are high platinum, I believe. Getting ready to kick up into the next league, undoubtedly. Features for Shakuris Plateau: you have a moderately sized ramp leading down to the natural, pretty easy to take, with its own larger ramp leading up into it. Very short distance between the two. The third is very, very exposed with three different ways into it, including some destructible debris up to the north, narrower path to the left right by Zelnaga Tower, and then the short path leading to the natural. It looks like KillerKoala has his first SCV sent out to Scout 7. Is heading up into the top left corner right where he is, and he's going to see that it is a Zerg he's versing against, and that Zerg likes minerals and not gas. That's basically it. No spawning pool, no expansion down yet. KillerKoala has his SCV placed in position to deny that expansion is actually going to throw down an engineering bay. This is something that's pretty common. A lot of players will start this but not finish it so that they can cancel it right whenever it's about to be destroyed, recouping some of those resources, or he'll finish it and just leave a nice little building in its wake. However, that's a decent number of minerals that he's not going to have at home to finish this wall off, so that supply depot is going to be by itself until KillerKoala decides to build his own barracks. It appears that he's saving up for a fast expand also. Both players are ready to expand. That drone's coming down, sees that the engineering bay, which was not finished, is in place to deny that expansion, so that drone's going to go ahead and skip down to the third, it looks like. Yep, to the third, while Koala grabs his own natural. So that third is going to be exposed. However, it's possible that Koala is not going to know about that. The SCV wasn't there for the expansion. He probably saw the drone go by, but he might be assuming that that's just a scout. Still no barracks down. Well, KillerKoala is grabbing both gas. One gas down with the spawning pools. I'm sure one queen on the way. Undoubtedly, some Zerglings are going to follow thereafter, as Seven will want to eventually grab that natural expand. Even though he has this one, he knows it's in an exposed area. He needs to double up on his own defensive posturing. Once he scouts that the expansion did go down for Koala, he's going to want to skip into a more of an aggressive stance and punish Koala for grabbing that fast expand. Another engineering bay going down, undoubtedly for some upgrades, and a bunker or barracks is going to finish up to afford Koala some extra defense. Hatchery finishes up down at the as the hatchery finishes up down at the third, the first queen is out and a second one is on the way. That queen's going to be working for quite a while for the engineering bay. These Zerglings, which are on the way, will definitely help finish that up. Here's a surprise: a command center switching into a planetary fortress on the natural expand. You don't normally see this because a lot of players, it's easier just to defend it from here, but it looks like Koala wants to take advantage of the, I guess, just stronger, easier defensive properties. He wants to stay on two bases for a while, and isn't planning on fielding a large ground army. Maybe he'll be rushing with the factory up to higher tech. He just really wants to buy some time, basically. Roach Warren going down. Seven is probably going to switch into roaches so that he can do some mid-game aggression with the 6-minute timing window's already gone. With that engineering bay in the way, normally you see a roach aggression really hits the wall at about 9 minutes, maybe a little earlier, if it's well timed. But with the Roach Warren not done yet, Seven's going to have to kick it up a little bit in his timing to get there, especially not mining off of both of his gas. Metabolic boost finishes. These Zerglings are ready to scout out some more. If Seven, and I'm not 100% sure if he even knows about that yet. No, he doesn't know about the early expand. So those Zerglings will probably run down there to see exactly where KillerKoala decides to go. If he's staying on one base, do something tricky. That starport up and a tech lab already on the factory, but nothing being researched. That starport's probably going to switch with the tech lab, probably start researching something. Maybe cloak for the Banshees. High-sec auto tracking is going to benefit the planetary fortress, any ravens that he gets later on, some missile turrets. Maybe he's afraid of some airplay, or maybe he's going to go airplay. Those Zerglings coming out, taking the Zelnaga Tower just in case. KillerKoala decides to push out. Basically, Seven's flying blind right now. He doesn't really know what Koala has in his base. Double evolution chambers means that Seven's going to be doubling up on his upgrades once he gets them, which is good because he's got a good amount of gas, 400, 300 in the bank. The reactor being researched for the Ravens. Extra energy means that that's basically why Koala rushed to starport, as he wanted to get that research started right now. A very good idea to get that first Viking out. Is going to punish Seven for having overlords in the middle of the map. However, he only has one that's really exposed. The other ones seem to be close enough to queens that they're going to be defended. This little cluster right here isn't a place that I normally look, especially since Koala doesn't know about that third yet. He might suspect it. I mean, again, he did see that drone go. 9 minutes is coming past as there's a decent number of roaches, but we're probably not going to see this hit for another minute as the level 1 range attack, it's just started on those evolution chambers. Seven might wait for that. He might push on afterwards. The first Raven is starting to be built just as the reactor finishes, so that's going to pop. As another command center goes down, probably going to be morphed into an orbital just to supplement the income down here, because normally this would be an orbital, and KillerKoala's probably missing that that extra income. 2 more starports being built, 3 more. As he kicks into overtime with the 750 gas already banked up, it looks like he's just going to go mass Raven, that's an exciting build. It's tricky because the Zerg has, spore crawlers, and it's got its fluid base. It can run around and doesn't really have to deal with those autocannons when they get dropped down, but those autocannons can be quite devastating with the amount of DPS that they can deal out, especially because they're, incredibly cheap. That's just what energy units are. They're basically just throwaways that you can put down. Those Ravens will come in, take some damage from the spore crawlers, but they'll leave with dropping all those autocannons, and then the DPS will just keep on going, and 1 queen's not going to be enough to handle even what 1 Raven, let alone however many he has now. Just 1. Undoubtedly he'll have more on the way once the tech labs finish on all 5 of these starports. I'm surprised that Seven hasn't done any aggression with all these roaches. He doesn't know about that planetary fortress. He doesn't know that the wall here is going to be pretty hard to break. But with this number of roaches, he should be able to do some aggression. He should be able to poke up there and do damage. And by sitting back, he's just allowing Koala to get the critical number of ravens that he needs to do a flyby. And with that flyby, he's going to be able to drop enough autocannons to take out a single hatchery in a single stroke. 4 ravens on the way as 1-1 has halfway done for the armor. Range is already finished. Glial reconstitution, the speed for the roaches is on the way also. It could be that that's what he's waiting for. KillerKoala has taken the 3rd in an awkward position. Destructible rocks are both up, and with that Viking flying around to deny 7 with the scouting, KillerKoala is probably hoping that this is going to just stay hidden. Another planetary fortress here, 3 missile turrets. Once this expo is discovered, if it is ever discovered, it's still going to be a very tough nut to crack. Basically, 7 would have to take down the rocks, take down both missile turrets, and then siege this. But with those SCVs repairing it, it's pretty hard to take down a planetary fortress. But roaches are a pretty good choice against it with their minor range. Infestor pit, Aspire is something that 7 desperately needs right now. Something, get some corruptors up to help deal with the ravens. Those ravens are just banking energy right now. Several of them are maxed out. Almost all of them are over 100 as that seeker missile finishes off. Number 2 range, number 2 armor, going for the Zerg. good on the upgrades, but he's just basically, it looks like 7's going to wait to max out completely and just try for a doom push with these roaches. It'd be nice for him to know that this planetary fortress was here. It'd be really nice for him to know that that third expansion is here, because the amount of damage that 7's going to have to do off of this is going to be pretty intimidating. But he's in a good position. He's got 4 bases to the 3. He's got a very, very strong economy, and his army is looking pretty devastating. I mean, Koala is in not a bad place, but his defense is going to have to hold. He can't afford to lose any of these bases, and he can't afford to lose any of these ravens, because every single one of these ravens is pretty much priceless right now. With the Seeker missile finishing, he's going to be able to drop them on the large mass of ravens. As they get into position, it looks like they're going to do a flyby on the main base. For whatever reason, 7 chose not to morph this into a hatch, which is going to turn out to be a great idea, because if these ravens drop autocannons on that hatch, he's just going to lose the hatch and not, the hive, which is being morphed now down in the main expansion. That natural's what has to hold now. Even with that natural, he's got the spire, he's got the infestor pit. This would be a far better place for Koala to hit, and he's got an orbital. He might be able to scan. He might see that hatchery is not a hive, and he might reconsider hitting that one. 2 more command centers in a position. Looks like he's getting ready to take the third, normally this time the 4th. These roaches pull in. A lot of barracks is placed just for an added wall. They make short work of that. The SCVs get to work on repairing the planetary fortress. These roaches come in. They're doing a lot of damage to the planetary fortress, but so many SCVs are repairing them. What 7 needs to do is attack the SCVs. He needs to attack the SCVs so that the repairing's down. I don't think he has enough, as this positioning is, to do it. All these roaches aren't doing any damage. He needs to pull them over, take out those refineries, maybe take out one more bunker so they can get just a little bit more DPS. But as things are now, it looks like the planetary fortress is winning. There we go. So they've taken out that other bunker. More of them are getting in, but they're so depleted now, I don't think they're going to do enough damage. I'm surprised that none of these ravens are moving in to help handle this, but it looks like Koala is going to use the momentary lapse to put some pressure on the main. Finally, 7's taking out all those SCVs. His roach number is about in half. As that planetary fortress falls, these ravens pool in, drop a ridiculous number of autocannons. They're going to take out both evolution chambers, the roach warren, and as 3 corruptors pop. The spawning pool is probably going to go down, as well as the hatchery. These ravens, pretty content with the amount of damage they've done, look like they're going to move down, into the natural, drop off some autocannons. A large number of corruptors come in. This is the correct answer to this pressure coming from KillerKoala. He's trying to get back to the relative safety of the 2 turrets. These corruptors are just sitting around. They need to use their mass numbers to punish the mass ravens. At the same time, these roaches are still doing damage to the infrastructure of KillerKoala. He's put out 5 banshees, which are going to eventually pick them off, but these roaches are capable of doing a lot of damage in the interim. It looks like he's going to lose 2 starports. The ravens have fallen back to the relative safety of their own autocannons, and these corruptors are reticent to come in and get picked off by it. However, KillerKoala is not really paying attention at the time to his units, and he's letting them take too much damage. He needs to pull back to around here so that every single one of these autocannons can wail on those corruptors. A lot of them are falling. Hunter-Seeker missiles going down on the mass. They're doing just devastating damage. About a quarter of the corruptors are left now, and the ones that remain are getting picked off. Very good job by Koala pulling them back. However, he's lost a lot of ravens too. All of the roaches has fallen from the base, and now he's got 5 banshees left so that he can do even more aggression. The hive did go down. Unfortunately, the placement of the autocannons wasn't such that they did damage the infestor pit or the greater spire, which is up. Those ravens, there's not enough now to do another flyby somewhere else, but he's done a remarkable amount of damage. 1 base, 2 base completely down, and a lot of tech that has to be rebuilt. Even the spawning pool went down. That's still being built now, so it's going to be quite a while before 7 feels comfortable and doing a lot of aggression. With that greater spire up, though, we see some broodlords morphing, and with the corruptors, it looks like 7's going to switch over and try to take a air superiority stance. He's grabbing another expansion in the bottom right corner. one that KillerKoala doesn't really know about, but the third did succeed in going up, so KillerKoala's still at that 3 base mark. He's still got quite a lot of money, and he's just trying to re-macro in the interim. Planetary Fortress duo guarding that third, which is something that he can't afford to lose another one. It might be worthwhile to grab another expansion there, another command center going up here. Looks like KillerKoala has changed his mind with the air superiorities, going over to Banshees for now. He might be afraid of more roaches. He might just not have enough. No, he's got plenty of gas to switch back to the Ravens, but he might just not be satisfied with what happened there. And right, of course, as I say that, 4 Ravens start getting built, so just, you can disregard. 3 Broodlores come in. They're going to be able to pick off the majority of this slowly. If there's any Vikings, and I know there was one on the first attack, but it looks like it's been picked off, so no Vikings in the air for now. So these Broodlords are going to be able to do quite a bit of damage, and as they go untested, 3 more start to be built. The Ravens that are out, however, will be able to drop autocannons underneath them. The Broodlords will have to reposition, since they're so slow. They will take a lot of damage. But again, this Planetary Fortress with this amount of SCVs, it's going to be forever until it actually falls due to Broodlords. Broodlings, they do a lot of damage, but the Planetary Fortress does splash damage, so it's not going to be quite enough. A single Raven remains uncontested with 3 autocannons nearby. Eventually, I'm sure these will fall either to not being maintained by the creep or to the autocannons from that Raven. CC is going to take that natural expand again as the Planetary Fortress continues to shell. 3 Vikings on the way. Once they pop, they'll be able to take out these Broodlords, but basically it's a race against time. Will 7 direct his Broodlords to taking out the SCVs? But no, with these 3 Vikings coming in, they're going to be able to pick off one by one those Corruptors, and then once the Corruptors are down, that's all she wrote for these Broodlords. And those Broodlords are awfully slow, and they're an awfully long way from home. Doing a pretty decent enough damage. 7 needs to pull back. He needs to get these 4 Corruptors out as soon as possible. But with 3 Vikings here and 4 Vikings on the way, it looks like the air superiority that 7 had for just a couple of minutes is pretty much gone now. Autocannons being placed by KillerKoala over at the Naturals takes out the Infestor's Pit, and the Greater Spire is going to go down. That Spire has to be rebuilt completely in order for him to get even Corruptors out. So those Vikings are once again going to have 100% control of the sky, and any Ravens, those 4 that KillerKoala just built, these are going to have a field day with the remaining of the base. 7 basically pouring all 9,000 of his minerals into every single one of his larvae to make Zerglings, just as a run by. These Zerglings aren't really going to do much to the Planetary Fortress. This command center wasn't morphed into a Planetary Fortress, but this one's an orbital command. And with the units being built here, this is an excellent place for these Zerglings to attack. Even these 7 Banshees aren't going to be enough to take out all of those Zerglings before they do a pretty good amount of damage. At the same time, 7's grabbing an expansion. He's only building 20 more Zerglings, even though he's got a lot of money, which means he needs more larvae. He's throwing down 3 hatcheries somewhere. I guess 1, 2, 3. 3 different hatcheries just to get more larvae, more than just minerals. He's got plenty of economy. He just doesn't have enough units, and the larva injects must be slipping as KillerKoala just continues to hit him in so many different directions. Finally, those Banshees clear up all the Zerglings without losing many units. He lifted off that 1 starport to keep it alive, and it looks like he lost pretty much all of the SCVs, but with the orbital command, he's going to be able to reproduce those, especially with 2 full producing bays and 5 different CCs. I see a Roach Warren back on the way. 2 more hatcheries being built just to bring the whole total to 4. So we've got enough larvae, hopefully, but with the roaches being built, you've got to realize that roaches cannot shoot up, and the current force that KillerKoala is feeling is mostly Vikings, Ravens, and a healthy number of Banshees in on it too. So basically any one of these groups could attack in any direction and just cause devastation in their wake. 20 roaches being built. Those 20 are going to have a hard time against 2 planetaries. This one is definitely the softer target. He'll want to attack here and then swing up again to do some damage here. If he took out all these tech labs, the Ravens and the Banshees would be severely limited, and basically Vikings, it's not the end of the world if it's just Vikings, because Vikings can be dealt with queens. But Ravens and Banshees, you have a much harder time, especially with this huge number of overlords just going down. You're going to see that supply just plummet from 120. Come on, plummet. There you go. 110, 112. At the same time, those Zerglings pool in with the roaches shortly behind. They're going to do some damage to that planetary fortress. Unfortunately, all those Zerglings are going to get picked off, and then the planetary fortress is going to turn on the roaches. I think just a few more roaches would have been more handy. Could have taken this out without sustaining so many losses, but those roaches are so resilient that they are going to go down. These Vikings have succeeded in clearing out that entire area. As the Banshees move in, they just want to be careful of any spore callers, which there aren't any in the area, because 7 was so supply blocked. He's not capable of creating corruptors to the point where he can re-macro the corruptors that he needed, and I believe he hasn't rebuilt a spire, which means that his anti-air is limited strictly to queens, which is just not what he needs right now. What he needs is to do a devastating number of damage here, which he's done. He's taken out all those tech labs. He's forced the starports to lift off. It looks like they're going to land somewhere over here and rebuild those. But this base was already pretty much dead. That orbital command can lift off and move on. However, this is the center of 7's macro right now. He's back up to 190 over 200, but these hatcheries are all going to fall very, very quickly, and even though he's still got 6,000 in the bank, he's not going to be able to spend it when it all does fall. Those drones are making a run for it. Undoubtedly, he'll create more. At the same time, all of KillerKoala's supply depots are going down, and he's the one now getting supply blocked. You can see there's another large force of roaches right here. This should be enough to punch through these destructible rocks, swing up here, and take out this base, which would be another devastating blow. Again, this is a pretty hard point to fix, especially if KillerKoala gets these SCVs back into repairing both of those planetaries. KillerKoala again using the harassment, taking out all those drones, just denying the mining there, denying the mining here. This is only a few more bases that 7 can mine off of, but again, both players have over 3,000 minerals just hanging out. Neither of them are spending it. 7 throwing another massive roaches against the planetary fortresses, but with all of these SCVs repairing it, that planetary fortress is taking minimal damage, and these roaches are just getting eaten alive by the splash damage. At the same time, roaches, which were spent to finish up the main base, swing back down, join with the attack, eventually take off these SCVs. The main air fleet by Koala has moved down into the bottom right corner, is taking out that expansion there. These autocannons are going to finish up both of those hatcheries as it moves down into the final one. This, if it turned into a base race, Koala has definitely won. These Banshees are going to finish up these Ravens, and then that planetary will finish. This hard point isn't going to fall at all. Those Ravens will just wait until their energy gets to the point where they can drop some more autocannons. I don't know if these 3 will be enough to take them down completely. It looks like 7 is just pulling back. So even though KillerKoala is supply blocked by 80-some points, those Ravens have just proven to be so resilient and so cost-effective that dropping autocannons, and with the Banshees raining death from the sky, it looks like 7 is just, it's not possible for him to re-macro. All of his buildings are destroyed except for some hatcheries, and hatcheries can't build anything if they don't have a spawning pool down. Oh, there's a spawning pool. So he could build Zerglings, and Zerglings do a very poor job in dealing with planetary fortresses. Really, that greater spire, when it fell down, kind of sealed the fate, because 7 didn't get immediately on that and build 2 more spires in 2 different areas. If he had those spires up, if he had more corruptors, if he was capable of dealing with Koala's air attacks. He could have taken out those Banshees with Corruptors. He could have taken out these Ravens with Corruptors. It would have forced KillerKoala to divert a lot of resources to Viking production. Maybe even change one of these tech labs over to a reactor for that. And this would have played out differently. As things are now, KillerKoala hid that third very in a clever fashion, and then used the planetary fortress to hold off the early aggression, switching it up into Ravens, and did some excellent flyby action in the main, and then into the natural whenever he saw that there wasn't a lot of tech structures to be had up in the main. And that cinched the deal. That was a fantastic game. As Seven said it, good game, well played. Thanks to Angry Kittens for posting this on Reddit. I had a fun time, guys. I hope you did too. I'll see you around. Bye.